If you feel overwhelmed, mentally exhausted, constantly fighting invisible battles inside your own head, this message is for you. Most people wake up every day trying to fix their problems by changing something outside themselves. More money, better relationships, more recognition, less stress. But what if the real problem isn't outside? What if almost everything that disturbs your peace lives inside your perception? For thousands of years, Stoic thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca trained their minds to remain unshaken in chaos, betrayal, loss, pressure, and power. They ruled empires. They endured exile. They faced death calmly. And they left behind principles that can eliminate the majority of your daily suffering, if you apply them correctly. Stay until the end, because the final lesson ties everything together and may permanently shift the way you see your life. And if you want more deep, powerful Stoic teachings that strengthen your mind and build unshakable discipline, subscribe to this channel now. Join a growing community committed to mastering the inner world. Now let's begin. 1. Control what you can. Release what you cannot. This is the foundation of Stoicism. If you misunderstand this, you misunderstand everything. There are only two categories in life: what is within your control and what is outside your control. Within your control, your thoughts, your effort, your reactions, your discipline, your choices. Outside your control, other people's opinions, the past, the weather, the economy, outcomes, luck, timing. Most anxiety is born when you obsess over what you cannot command. You replay conversations. You imagine worst-case scenarios. You try to force people to understand you. You try to control outcomes before they happen. And when reality does not obey you, you suffer. The Stoic does something radical. He withdraws emotional investment from what is uncontrollable. He focuses only on what he can influence directly. Imagine how much lighter your mind becomes when you stop trying to control the uncontrollable. You cannot control whether someone respects you, but you can control whether you respect yourself. You cannot control whether success comes quickly, but you can control whether you show up daily. When you master this distinction, your stress reduces dramatically. You stop arguing with reality. You conserve energy. You act where action is possible. This alone can fix more problems than most therapy sessions too. Your thoughts are not facts. Your mind generates constant commentary. You're not good enough. They don't like you. This will fail. You always mess things up. But here is the truth. Thoughts are interpretations, not reality. Between an event and your reaction, there is a space. Most people never pause in that space. They react instantly. Emotion becomes action. Action creates consequence. The Stoic trains awareness in that gap. Someone criticizes you. Instead of reacting emotionally, you pause. Is this true? Is this useful? Is this within my control? If it's useful, improve. If it's false, ignore. If it's uncontrollable, release. The majority of your emotional pain comes not from events, but from the meaning you attach to them. Change the interpretation, and you change the emotional outcome. This lesson alone dissolves insecurity, overthinking, jealousy, and fear. You don't need to silence your thoughts. You need to stop worshipping them. 3. Seek strength, not comfort. Modern life is designed to keep you comfortable. Endless scrolling, instant entertainment, immediate gratification, distraction at your fingertips. Comfort feels safe, but comfort weakens you. Growth requires friction. Discipline requires resistance. Confidence requires challenge. Every time you avoid discomfort, you train yourself to be fragile. Every time you lean into discomfort, you train resilience. Wake up earlier. Exercise when tired. Have difficult conversations calmly. Finish what you start. The more voluntarily you face hardship, the less life can intimidate you. Stoicism teaches voluntary discomfort because it builds psychological armor. If you can endure small discomforts by choice, you will not collapse under unavoidable ones. Strength is built intentionally. Weakness grows automatically. Choose your suffering wisely. 4. Detach from praise and criticism. If your mood depends on approval, you are not free. People will misunderstand you. They will judge you. They will project their insecurities onto you. Today they praise you. Tomorrow they criticize you. If your identity depends on external validation, your emotional state will swing endlessly. The Stoic builds identity on values, not applause. Did I act with integrity? Did I keep my word? Did I do my best? That is enough. When someone insults you, remember, their words reflect their perception, not your essence. When someone praises you, remember, praise is temporary. Stay steady. Emotional stability comes from internal standards, not public opinion. This mindset alone removes insecurity and people-pleasing behaviors that destroy confidence. 5. Focus on effort, not outcome. Most frustration comes from attachment to results. You want the promotion. You want the relationship to work. You want recognition. You want progress faster. But outcomes are influenced by many variables beyond your control. Effort is yours. Outcome is shared with reality. If you measure your worth by outcome alone, you will constantly feel defeated. Instead, measure yourself by effort. Did I prepare fully? Did I act courageously? Did I remain disciplined? When you focus on effort, you win every day, regardless of the result. This creates inner stability. Ironically, when you detach from desperate attachment to outcomes, your performance improves, anxiety drops, clarity increases, and better performance often leads to better results. But even when it doesn't, your peace remains intact. 6. Accept impermanence. Nothing lasts forever. One of the greatest sources of suffering is the illusion of permanence. You think your pain will last forever. You think your embarrassment defines you. You think your current struggle is your final identity. But everything changes. The person who hurt you will change. Your financial situation will change. Your body will change. Your opportunities will change. Even your personality will evolve over time. The Stoic understands this deeply. What feels overwhelming today will one day be a memory. What feels permanent is temporary. When you internalize impermanence, you stop overreacting. A bad day is not a bad life. A mistake is not a permanent identity. A failure is not a final verdict. And here is something powerful. The good moments are temporary too. That is why you must not cling desperately to success, validation, or comfort. Enjoy them, but do not depend on them. This mindset stabilizes you emotionally. You stop panicking during hardship. You stop becoming arrogant during success. You become steady. And if this shift in perspective is already expanding your thinking, subscribe to this channel now. We are building a community of disciplined minds who refuse to be controlled by temporary emotions. More powerful lessons are coming. 7. Guard your time like your life depends on it. Because it does. Time is the one resource you cannot recover. You can rebuild money. You can repair reputation. You can regain health to some extent. But time never returns. Most people waste their lives unconsciously, scrolling endlessly, arguing over trivial matters, chasing validation from strangers, delaying important goals because there's still time. The Stoic treats time as sacred. Every morning is a limited opportunity. Every hour matters. Ask yourself, is this activity building my future? Is this conversation meaningful? Is this distraction worth a piece of my life? When you start valuing time deeply, your priorities shift automatically. You become selective with your energy. You reduce drama. You eliminate unnecessary conflicts. You invest in growth. Guard your mornings. Guard your focus. Guard your habits. And if you are serious about mastering your time and building mental strength daily, subscribe now for more mind-mastering content that will sharpen your discipline every single week. Because wasted time is wasted potential. 8. Take radical responsibility. This lesson alone can transform your entire life. Most people blame. They blame their upbringing. They blame the economy. They blame their partner. They blame bad luck. Blame feels relieving, but it is disempowering. When you blame, you give away control. Radical responsibility does not mean everything is your fault. It means your response is always your responsibility. You may not control what happened to you, but you control what you do next. When something fails, instead of asking why does this always happen to me, ask, what can I learn? What can I improve? How can I respond better next time? This shift transforms you from victim to architect. You stop waiting for rescue. You stop waiting for perfect conditions. You start building. And builders create momentum. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence creates opportunity. If you want more teachings that push you toward responsibility instead of excuses, subscribe now and become part of a disciplined minority that chooses growth over comfort. Your future depends on it. 9. Practice voluntary hardship. This lesson separates the fragile from the formidable. Most people only experience hardship when life forces it on them. The Stoic chooses hardship intentionally. Cold showers, intense workouts, difficult tasks first, silence instead of arguing, discipline instead of indulgence. Why? Because when you practice difficulty voluntarily, you become mentally untouchable. If you can endure discomfort by choice, unexpected hardship cannot break you. Voluntary hardship builds confidence at the deepest level. You start telling yourself, I can handle this. And that belief changes everything. When pressure comes, you don't panic. When stress appears, you don't collapse. When challenges arise, you adapt. You train for this. Your mind becomes stronger than your emotions. And if you want to keep training your mind with powerful Stoic principles like this, subscribe right now. This channel exists to forge discipline, resilience, and clarity in a distracted world. Stay with us. Your transformation is just beginning. 10. Remember, you will die. This is not meant to scare you. It is meant to awaken you. One day, everything you stress about today will no longer matter. One day, your time will run out. The Stoics reflected on mortality daily, not to become depressed, but to become focused. When you remember death, clarity increases. Petty arguments seem pointless. Ego battles feel childish. Procrastination feels dangerous. You stop delaying your goals. You start saying what matters. You start doing what matters. You start living deliberately. Mortality sharpens purpose. Ask yourself, if today were my last year alive, would I waste it worrying about other people's opinions? Would I spend it arguing online? Would I delay my dreams again? When you accept the reality of death, you stop living passively. You live intentionally. And that is power. If this message has shifted something inside you, even slightly, subscribe now. Commit to mastering your mind. Commit to growth. Commit to becoming unshakable. Because mastering your mind is not a one-time decision. It is daily training. Closing expansion for retention. Understand this clearly. Your problems are not always your circumstances. They are your reactions, your interpretations, your attachments, your lack of discipline. Fix those, and most external problems lose their power. You cannot control everything, but you can control your character. You cannot eliminate every obstacle, but you can eliminate mental weakness. You cannot guarantee outcomes, but you can guarantee effort. And when you master that, you become dangerous in the best possible way. Calm under pressure, focused under stress, disciplined when others are distracted. This is how you fix the majority of your problems, not by escaping life, but by strengthening your mind. If you made it this far, that already says something about you. You are not average. You are searching for depth, for strength, for control. So subscribe now for more mind-mastering Stoic content that will continue sharpening your thinking, your discipline, and your emotional control. More powerful lessons are coming. More mental training is coming. More transformation is coming. Train your mind daily. Protect your focus. Choose discipline, and become unshakable. Now pause for a moment. Take a breath. Think about the biggest problem currently weighing on your mind. Is it financial pressure? Relationship tension? Self-doubt? Lack of direction? Now ask yourself honestly, is the problem itself destroying your peace, or your interpretation of it? This is where Stoicism becomes practical, not philosophical. The external event is neutral. Your judgment gives it emotional weight. When you say, "This shouldn't be happening," you suffer. When you say, "This is part of life," you adapt. This subtle mental shift is the dividing line between fragile and formidable. And if you're committed to becoming mentally unbreakable, subscribe right now, because this channel is about training your perception until pressure no longer controls you. Let's go deeper. Most people want control over life. The Stoic wants control over self, and there is a massive difference. If you control life, you are only powerful when circumstances cooperate. If you control yourself, you are powerful in every circumstance. Think about that carefully. If someone insults you and you explode, who is in control? If a delay ruins your entire mood, who is in control? If criticism destroys your confidence, who is in control? Not you. Every emotional overreaction is a surrender of power. Stoicism teaches emotional discipline not because emotions are bad, but because uncontrolled emotions are expensive. They cost relationships. They cost opportunities. They cost clarity. They cost time. And most importantly, they cost peace. The disciplined mind does not suppress emotion. It examines it. Anger arises. Pause. Fear arises. Observe. Jealousy arises. Question it. Where is this coming from? Is it rational? Is it helpful? When you build this habit, you slow down your reactions. Slower reactions create wiser decisions. Wiser decisions create better outcomes. Better outcomes create confidence. Confidence reduces anxiety. And now you are no longer trapped in a cycle of chaos. You are operating from control. If you're gaining value from this depth, subscribe now for more mind-mastering content. This is long-term mental training, not surface-level motivation. We are building thinkers here. Let's talk about ego. Ego is one of the most destructive internal forces. It wants to win every argument. It wants to be right. It wants to be admired. It wants to dominate. But ego is fragile. The more you need validation, the weaker you become. The more you need to prove yourself, the more insecure you are. The Stoic reduces ego intentionally. He does not need to announce his strength. He does not need to win every debate. He does not need to broadcast every achievement. Silence becomes power. Restraint becomes dominance. When you stop trying to impress, you start progressing. Ask yourself, how much energy have you wasted trying to look strong instead of becoming strong? That energy could have built skills, improved health, expanded knowledge, strengthened discipline. Ego seeks attention. Wisdom seeks growth. Choose wisely. And if you are choosing growth, subscribe and stay connected. This is where discipline meets clarity. Now consider this. Most people live reactively. They wake up and check their phone. They react to notifications. They react to messages. They react to news. They react to other people's moods. From morning to night, they are reacting. Very few people live intentionally. The Stoic begins the day with awareness. What is within my control today? What virtues will I practice? Where might challenges arise? How will I respond when they do? This preparation changes everything. When difficulty appears, you are not surprised. You expected it. When someone behaves poorly, you are not shocked. You anticipated imperfection. Expectation reduces emotional shock. Preparation reduces panic. This alone eliminates so much frustration. You cannot eliminate difficulty, but you can eliminate surprise, and that makes you steady. If you want more practical Stoic systems like this to structure your mornings and sharpen your thinking, subscribe right now. Consistency builds strength. Now let's confront something uncomfortable. You are not as disciplined as you could be. Neither is anyone else. There are areas where you know what to do, but you hesitate. You know you should exercise more. You know you should focus more. You know you should stop procrastinating. You know you should control your reactions. Knowledge is not the problem. Application is. The Stoics believed philosophy is useless without action. Reading wisdom is easy. Living it is rare. So here is the challenge. Pick one lesson from this video. Apply it today. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. Control one reaction. Avoid one unnecessary argument. Do one difficult task first. Protect 1 hour of focused work. Small actions repeated daily create massive transformation over time. This is how you fix the majority of your problems. Not with dramatic change, with disciplined consistency. And if you are serious about becoming part of the minority who actually apply wisdom, subscribe and commit to continuous mental training here. Because this is not entertainment, this is self-mastery. Let's slow down again. Imagine yourself 1 year from now. If you continue reacting emotionally, blaming others, wasting time, avoiding discomfort, where will you be? Now imagine 1 year of applying these lessons daily. Calmer, more disciplined, less reactive, more focused, more respected, more internally stable. That version of you is not fantasy. It is built through daily mental correction. Every time you pause instead of explode, you reinforce strength. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you reinforce identity. Every time you accept what you cannot control, you reinforce peace. Identity is shaped by repetition. Repeat weakness, become weak. Repeat strength, become strong. It is that simple, and that difficult. But difficulty is where growth lives. If you're still here, that means you are not afraid of depth. So subscribe now for more mind-mastering Stoic philosophy that strengthens your thinking long-term. We are not here for temporary motivation. We are here for permanent internal change. Final deep reflection section. You do not need a different life. You need a different perspective. Your problems shrink when your discipline grows. Your anxiety weakens when your acceptance strengthens. Your frustration fades when your expectations align with reality. Stoicism is not about suppressing emotion. It is about mastering interpretation. It is not about becoming cold. It is about becoming stable. It is not about withdrawing from life. It is about engaging with it wisely. And once you master your mind, something powerful happens. External chaos loses control over you. Criticism loses sting. Delays lose urgency. Obstacles lose intimidation. You become steady. And steady people win in the long run. If you found value here, subscribe now and stay connected for more powerful Stoic lessons designed to build unshakable clarity and discipline. Train your mind daily. Refine your perception. Strengthen your reactions. Protect your time. Master your mind. And you master your life. More depth is coming. Stay ready.